We circle back to the issue with the chaos that Trump creates, which is that often with so much going on, it takes a lot of intentionality to circle back to a promise or to something from a little while ago that he's now taking steps that make ridiculous what happened before, right? There's so much going on right now that making sure we hold him to his statement is a difficult thing sometimes for us to do. And I came across some news that I'll lay out for you. But if we go back a little while to right before the election and right after the election, when he did 2 PR visits to the Hurricane Helene locations and victims, this was in North Carolina, and listen to what he was saying as he was trying to attain power and then celebrating the fact that he got it. As he was attacking Biden and lying about the response from the federal government, saying they had just left behind different states because their red states didn't happen. But now we have news about how his administration's handling this recovery. And it makes very, very disturbing the footage of him talking to victims and the stuff that he was saying. So let's go to that, and I'll tell you the news that I'm referencing that just came out about his FEMA.
We've come to North Carolina with a simple message for all the people of this region who are hit so hard by Hurricane Helene, and that message is very simple. You are not forgotten any longer. You were treated very badly by the previous administration, and I'm here after a few days of...
And then he even had someone come up and tell their story living through Hurricane Helene, obviously, that ravaged multiple parts of southeastern United States.
I live out in the Fairview area of North Carolina and near the Bat Cave, Lake Lure area. And our area was hit. It was hit really hard. I was home alone, and my husband had stayed in town because we take care of a little lady that's 98 years old, and she lives out in the woods by herself. And I said, just stay with her and make sure that she's okay. And I got up the next morning, and my first thought was, I want to go see what our road and bridge looks like. So as I was making it down to the road and the bridge, there was no road and bridge. And
I'll stop that story there, but you can see that Trump is willing to, while the cameras are rolling, show his support, be sympathetic.
I could go on. It's just it's just heartbreaking. I appreciate you.
Good daughter you have, huh? Good daughter. Take care of Mom. And your son must be great.
My son is great.
No, he sounds like a real leader.
Again, we talked about a similar thing with how he, at a campaign event, talked to a veteran. This was during one of my discussions with Brittany Page, and looks in their eyes, and I'm here for you. You won't be forgotten anymore. And then with the veteran, he was saying, we're going to support you. And then now he's gutting the VA. And then this one disturbing because he's doing this. Stein posted on X, the governor of North Carolina, today I learned that FEMA refused our request to extend its 100% reimbursement period for another 108 days. I got this news while I was in Newland with families who lost their homes in the storm. The need in Western North Carolina remains immense. People need debris removed, homes rebuilt, and roads restored. I'm extremely disappointed and urge the president to reconsider FEMA's bad decision, even for 90 days. 6 months later, the people of Western North Carolina are working hard to get back on their feet. They need FEMA to help them get the job done. And so this is such a Trumpian thing, right? He went before the election to North Carolina and then right after the election to attack Biden, attack Kamala Harris, and say that they were failing this area and to get the political capital from it. But then he actually gets the power. Many people believe him, and he doesn't. He doesn't see the recovery through, and he denies this request for support. He's doing what he was lying about Biden doing. And this was before the election.
I also want to thank everyone who supported the GoFundMe. We set it up right after the storm left, almost immediately, and I authorized a lot of people to help, and those affected by Hurricane Helene were badly affected, and nothing can really really make amends for what happened, especially when it came to the death. The property you're going to end up having bigger and better and nicer and everything, but the death was horrendous.
And throughout these events, you heard the one statement earlier, but there were all these proclamations of how they were going to be helped. And Trump was going to see it through, and he was better than Biden on this, and Biden had failed. And it's all just for show. What's interesting is that the projection seems so blatant. I don't know how people don't see it. Like, as an example, Trump was accusing Biden of not helping red states during the hurricane relief, and it wasn't true. He had fabricated, but then he went on to actually talk about withholding from California wildfire relief if they didn't change voting laws. And, by the way, he's talked about getting rid of and gutting, and this process has started, FEMA altogether. Now, one miscellaneous clip about this. We should not have taken seriously the guy who spoke about the hurricane like this.
So it was water. The water was the worst we'd ever seen. It was a water hurricane. That's what it was. And it took houses right off the foundations and ripped the foundations, concrete foundations, like they were paper.
Coming from the same guy who said that a hurricane was the wettest we had seen from the standpoint of water. The wettest we had seen from the standpoint of water. During one of these fight oligarchy tour events, just as a little miscellaneous clip, Ro Khanna said this.
There is hope, America. You are the hope. Look, you had the richest guy in the world spend $250 million to put Donald Trump back into the White House. Then Trump hands him the keys to slash Medicaid, gut public education, and rip food stamps away from families. You know what I think? Instead of giving $4 trillion of tax breaks to billionaires like Elon Musk, how about in this country we start to tax the billionaires?
Yeah, so what's going to happen here with the gutting of FEMA, with any number of examples, Medicaid, of them, USAID, getting rid of these different institutions and defunding them, and then going, woo, we saved all this money. If you take all the money they say that they've saved, I think Elon says it's up to like 150 billion. It almost certainly not true based on what we've seen with their accounting, where they even get wrong million to billion. So let's even say it's that number. That's a little eeky weeky weeky sliver compared to what they're about to give away in revenue we could have to the richest people in America. So why would we take seriously? Wait, disaster response, food assistance, elderly care, veterans care? We don't have money for any of that, but we are perfectly willing to give up trillions in tax revenue that could go to funding those things because some billionaire needs another yacht? I think not about the another yacht, is what I would say. Producer Cole really liked that one, I could tell. From my periphery, I could see he was like, yes, I love the rhyming, Luke. All the timing, Luke. Sorry. And we really should take or find motivation in the fact that all the money in the world can actually do the vote. They can't. You can encourage people, you can change people's views often, but it's us, if we're fed up, who can rally others to ultimately defeat this movement. Hopefully we do. Share your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed.